A Corvallis homeless shelter is expecting some federal cuts from the shutdown, but as KEZI 9 News reporter Rhoda Kraus tells us, an even bigger concern is there is going to be an increased need for social services.
It's the only homeless shelter that serves families in Linn, Benton, and Linn Counties. And with the government shutdown, they're anticipating major problems throughout the winter. Community outreach says it can't imagine that all 800,000 furloughed federal workers have several months of savings to get by.
We're such a country run by money and this need for money to just provide, again, those basic needs, your rent, your utility assistance, your utilities, your food, that when you don't have it, it becomes a panicked type situation and people aren't sure what to do.
Whitaker says during the recent recession, the shelter saw an increase in community need for food, shelter, and medical services. They also say they saw an increase in crime.
It's a person in crisis who oftentimes hasn't been in crisis before, for the first time experiencing and having their families experience what it feels like to be vulnerable and to be in a place they're not in control of anymore.
Whitaker says the shelter receives $5,000 to $10,000 federal dollars a month from the Veterans Administration to provide services to vets. And that funding might get cut at the end of this month.
We'd still continue to serve veterans. We'd still continue to provide the services to that population. We'd just do it without reimbursement, and it would affect our bottom line.
She says the shelter might have to cut a staff member to part-time or cut one of their services, such as childcare. All the beds at the homeless shelter are currently full, but they're still running their emergency shelter, so folks can come sleep on a mat on the floor if they have nowhere else to go. In Corvallis, Rhoda Kraus, KEZI 9 News.